War will last as long as man remains a sinful creature, flawed as we are and fallen from grace. Andrew Exton stated that. He served in the U.S. Army Rangers in 2000. He also added, "We should not use that as an excuse to solve all of our problems with violence, because peaceful alternatives often exist. But even these must be backed up with a credible threat of force. Sometimes war becomes inevitable through the evils of man." I understand that war can be debated. It can be hated, it can be loved, and it can be dismissed. American soldiers cannot. We do not live in a utopian country. History has demonstrated that we have not always lived up to our standards, nor practiced what we have preached. We make bad or ill-informed decisions daily. We will not always know what's best in the upcoming years. And yet, I am very proud of being an American. Americans forget just how lucky we are. We have rights and liberties and privileges, and if we don't, we can speak up for what we want and work to gain what we don't have. Life isn't fair, but America provides opportunities. Our freedom and equality is something we cannot take for granted. It's something we should value and something we should fight for. When the Founding Fathers sat down and created this government, they did not create a utopia. They did not want a utopia. There is no way to eliminate conflict, and so there's no way to make a country flawless. The best thing a government can do is manage conflict. We are a democratic nation. We thrive not on wars of arms, but instead on wars of words. We engage in clashes of arms only when all other possibilities and options are exhausted. With technology, it's easy to believe we live exclusively in a global society. It's easy to forget that first and foremost, we live in the United States. Today, there are only a few who fight, so it's easy to forget. During World War II, almost every American household made some contribution to the effort, and nearly 500,000 Americans sacrificed their lives so that hundreds of millions of others could live in freedom. We cannot support this country with a single action, but we must take a single action to start supporting this country. And so, I propose 2 years of mandatory service for every citizen of age in the United States of America. We must be willing to give up some freedoms now in order to avoid giving up all of our freedom later. 2 years of service after high school would force every citizen to be invested. Invested in this country, invested in its choices, and invested in its success. 2 years of service would take citizens from different regions and religions and backgrounds and give them the opportunity to work together. Studies by Kwong Lee and Marilyn Brewer, psychologists, show that heightened patriotism, national identification, would be positively associated with tolerance for diversity and inclusiveness internationally, and would show little to no relationship to heightened nationalism. Jack Jacobs, a retired United States colonel, said, "A society coheres only when it shares beliefs and experiences, and humans rarely value things that are acquired at no cost." We often don't realize how important something is until it's gone. This cannot be an example of that lesson. The United States must be a beacon of hope for the world. It must stand as an example of a free nation. I cannot say that an American way of life is the best for every person, but those who do not like America have the freedom to leave. And there are many others who will, and have, risked their lives to reach American shores. You can make your own decisions. You can say America is harmful, you can say America is aggressive, you can say America is evil and malicious and wrong, but I challenge you to find a better nation. Only when you believe that no other country can better serve its people can you begin to make the changes to make the United States even better. I stand before you because I believe in the United States of America, but others must believe in America too.